big man. Cheers for coming on to my second podcast. How we doing?
Aye, good mate, yourself?
Alright mate, just back to work this week, so try to get a few of these done and then I don't need to get them all done at one time, you know.
Aye, give it a
Right, so we'll get started. Sorry mate?
I'll give you a bit of time yourself.
I know. That's that. Yeah, right, so we'll get started anyway, big man. So, right, so your name, just in case people don't know, your name's Ross, you're 34. Just going to start about how you met the wife and obviously the wee man and that, and then we'll get that out of the way and then we'll go into your Fitbit stuff. So, how did you meet your wife, basically? Tell us.
We were set up on a kind of blind date off a mutual friend, and that was it really. We kind of both, we're both at a relationship, or I was anyways, and not really looking. And mutual friend says, look, I've got a friend that's interested, fancy going on a date, and I thought, why not really thinking too much of it. And here we are 10 years later. So, it's been a bit of a whirlwind, but all good. I'd actually met her before.
Right.
We were at a party a few years before I'd actually met her, again to another mutual friend, and obviously didn't know who she was or anything like that. And then a few years later, met her properly, and there was a awkward moment of when you at that party with somebody else, and I was like, But always been good for there. So we've been married just 6 years, so all good.
I was going to say, so you get engaged on the 30th of August 2012, and then you got married on the 13th of March 2014?
Aye, we did. We get the
How did you pop the question? What did you do?
Keys to the new house. We'd been waiting about all day, and we'd kind of finally get the keys mid to late afternoon. So I went out to get a couple of things out the motor, like the toaster and the kettle and all the rest of it. And instead of just coming back in, stood and rang the doorbell, and then didn't get an answer, so rang it again. And obviously when I seen her through the glass, just in one knee, and that was it.
Brilliant.
So it was a bit of a given. We just bought a house together, so I kind of thought I could. It was a good day. It was a stressful day. Just kind of waiting for the keys, and we've been told to get ourselves kind of ready for about 1 o'clock-ish.
Right.
And didn't get the keys to about 4:30 or something like that. So I was crabbing as hell.
Making you sweat even more.
We went for a burger and couldn't eat it, and I was crabbing. I was just putting on the kind of stress of the house and all the rest of it. It was more the fact I was waiting to propose, and it was a killer, but I got the result I wanted.
So probably the best thing for the 2 years came when you had your wee boy Noah on the 13th of December 2019.
Aye, it was a bit of a surprise, his early arrival. I'd been on a works night out the night before, and I'd kind of had a bit of a joke saying it was my last night out for a while because the Christmas coming up, and then the tell it was due in February. But because he was 9 weeks early, I'd come in for the night out absolutely pissed, and 3 o'clock in the morning get woken up and she's like, we need to go into the hospital or something, not quite right. So we went in. I wasn't allowed to stay in the ward or anything, so I had to go basically sleep in the motor, which wasn't great. And then went back in next morning, she got a scan, and everyone was alright with the pain, but they wanted to keep her in for kind of further tests and whatever. Then the following night, just shy of 10 to 11, the wee man appeared, and she got a quick hug, and he was whisked away up the stair. With a few complications just with the fact he was born that early, but he's doing all right. It was a tough time.
Well, that's obviously I know you for the coach, and I mean, nobody can imagine how much it was stressful for you. But we know you were going through. You spent Christmas and New Year in hospital. You want to tell a wee bit about what happened after he was born, etc.
He was in for 9 weeks in total. When he was born, he had his lungs hadn't developed properly, so he was on an incubator and he got oxygen right the way through. He also found that he had a bleed in the brain, and there was the spinal fluid couldn't drain the brain so that to go in and do an operation. So the wee man's been through a hell of a lot. And his first 9 weeks that he was here, it was just constant. You're making kind of forward steps one minute and then backward steps the next, and you'd think you'd be over the kind of worst it, and then you get hit with something else. It was constant, and it was draining. I was off work. I had the house to keep. I had obviously Charlotte was still in hospital for a period, and then back and forward to the hospital every day. It was just it was murder. Just kind of leaving, especially the first night we had to leave them in the hospital. Came back to an empty house and just sat at the end of the bed and just staring into space for hours. It was just kind of an unreal experience, and something that I would wish that nobody would have to go through. It was hectic and horrendous.
Sounds really tough. I don't think anybody can even begin to imagine how hard it must have been. Do you know what I mean? But he's now. Sorry, you go.
I were lucky with a lot of support for family, friends, and the boys' kind of well wishes and all the rest of it. So it did help. And both of us, or 3 years, are all kind of appreciative of it, albeit the wee man doesn't know what we're talking about. But he'll have a few good stories to tell when he's older.
So he's now 6 months, and he's doing well.
Aye, he's progressing well. He's settled into home life, whereas we're just starting weaning him, so he's into all his veg and all that now. So big changes in him. Aye, everything's going well. We've got follow-up appointments with Euro, and that'll probably be for the next wee while. Just kind of regular checkups, but everything seems to be going all right. But realistically, we're aware that there might be something that happens in the future, so we're prepared for that as best you can be. But just fingers crossed and hope that the worst is over.
Aye, fingers crossed, big man, definitely. Fingers crossed for you. So we're going to a wee bit about you now. So you're originally from Dumfries.
Aye.
What was that like? Because your upbringing down there and play much football?
Aye, it was different. You've not really got it's a small town. There's only 70,000 folk, so you kind of tend to get to know quite a lot of people, same people, same places, same time, and all the rest of it. Football was a big thing. It was 4 and 5 times a week. You were out training with different teams or whatever. Just a kick about in the park or that. So football was a kind of big part of growing up.
Yeah. So the first team you joined in there, how did it become about?
It was through school, to be fair. One of the guys from the local team came down and just says, look, we're looking at kind of starting up a younger age group, because they'd only done under 10s. So they wanted to start at a wee bit kind of younger. We were 5 at the time, and it was under 8. So because I was into my football, the teachers kind of said, there you go, take a letter home to your parents, and that was it for there. So started with Grayson Rovers and stayed with them for must be about 11 years.
So what kind of player were you when you were younger?
Folk will not believe this if they know me now. That I could actually run. So,
that's going to get the most comments. That comment will get the most comments.
I started off playing wide.
Right.
I was a winger. Didn't really have that much skill, again, which sounds a bit daft for a winger, but I found early on that I could pass a ball. Just to kind of, they'd worked a lot in kind of technique when I was younger, so being able to kind of bang a ball, cross a ball, it was easier than trying to beat a man and losing it, you know. So that's the kind of the player I was, just ball down and get it away. It seemed to do me all right for a while until I lost my pace.
So you were also training with Queen of the South and playing with under 18s?
Aye.
And you became a wee bit involved training with the first team?
Aye. One of your coaches at Grayson Rovers was Brian Alexander, who was the manager at Queen's at one point, and I think he was on like Gretna as well. And he took a few years along just to see how he would fit in and mix with the different boys, because at that time Queen's they were competing with Stranraer for the local boys to get a game, and Carlisle United as well. So we had a lot of the boys coming out of the border at the same time when we were at Queen's, and it was just a good mix. So it was a step up for us, and we just wanted to see what it would be like. And I think it was about 4 or 5 years it kept on, and then progressed through up to under 18s. But we were playing under 18s at like 14, 15-year-old. It just wasn't as competitive as it is up here.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying it was easier. It was just probably better to get your feet in the door.
Yep. Was there any big players you played with that we might know now, name-wise?
One of my namesakes, Ross Preston, was there at the time. I used to play with St Johnstone. Derek Tingley was at Motherwell after he left us. Davy Matheson, the goalkeeper. Willie Gibson, I think he's still playing now. They're not big players, but
I think he was a good man.
Aye. Paul Harvey as well. He played at Motherwell as well, I think, before he moved into Queen's. So there was I'm not saying any superstars, but there was a few decent boys that came through, and they were always willing to help us, which was good.
So was there anybody in your team that you thought you're going to go really far and maybe didn't reach that potential for some reason? Or?
Aye, there was a boy, Brian Lauder, who everyone called him Giggsy.
Right.
He was absolutely double, and he played like him. He was unbelievable. I've never seen anyone run so quickly with the ball in all my life.
After you when you hit pace?
I could just keep up with 4 or 5 yards, and that was it. I don't know what happened to him. He got to a stage and he never kicked on. He was by far and away the best player in any age group that we'd played growing up.
Yep.
And then he just hit kind of 17, 18, and I don't know if it was lifestyle choices or whatever, or disappointment and not getting picked up, and he just disappeared.
Yep.
So he'd have been the one that I would have thought would have made a name for himself.
So obviously, before getting away the next part, which I couldn't believe when I read it, what made you leave that setup kind of side of football?
Injury, to be fair. Right. And then I take it you're making mention of the old rugby side of things.
No yet. I want to talk about your spell abroad. Your spell abroad.
No, we went a wee tour. That was still with Grayson Rovers back. Right. That's a wee bit of history. Back in 1938, it was just before the war, there was a lot of Norwegians that came over to Scotland. And the guy who founded the club that I played with had a good friendship with a couple of the boys, and they'd organised football games when they're over here. Right. And he says, why don't we do it? We'll do exchanges. So Grayston every 2 years take a team over to Norway, and vice versa, they'd bring that team over. So I had the opportunity to go over for a month to play, and it was like the Boss Cup with the age group I was in. We get to experience the Norwegian way of living, the way they prepare for football, things like that, and we ended up winning the tournament that they entered us in, which was quite decent.
What was the football like over there compared to over here? Was there differences?
Aye, everyone was ball work.
Right.
You didn't do anything with a ball. So it was all very kind of tactical based or technical based. If you were standing about, doing keepy uppies, if you were doing a wee trick, whatever else, was still listening to coaches, then you were into a drill.
Right.
So your kind of downtime, you were still getting a touch of the ball, even just standing 5-yard passes back and forward.
Right.
The drills were at a different level. They were complex until you got them. You see some of the things that we do with Colts, like a basic Ajax square and all the rest of it.
Yep.
They were doing that, but 10 times over. I mean, it was just incredible to watch and try to get us to do it. It was a good experience. It really was. Their approach to the game is totally different. In the schools, which we did see, they base it all on fitness and nutrition, diets and whatever else, and then they take it in. So your own kind of core fitness is down to yourself.
Right.
When you're at touring, you meet before, you get a meal, then you go to do your training, you get a wee input or a lesson on nutrition, diets, then you get a tactical thing, then you're back out again. to do like a second half year session, and the setup's just night and day.
Different class. So you must have some stories when you're all there that you can.
There, it was, see, because we were all staying with the boys, like, albeit we moved about. We started in Hauger, and we were staying with the team that we were playing against, like with our families. So we're getting split up 2 and 3. So we locked out. The guy I was with had a sauna, basically a basement, had a table tennis table, a pool table, and a wee mini sauna. So that was it. We were there for I think it was 5 days, and just spoiled rotten. And there's no funny stories. We're 14-year-olds, and a foreign country couldn't really get up to too much. You're looking at going out to the local shops, and for a can of Coke and a Mars bag, you were the best part of £8, and that was back in 1997. Jesus. So it's horrendous, but it was good. The only probably funny story would have been there was a solar eclipse, and we were there when we were staying in Bergen, and there's a mountain in the middle of Bergen. We've got a cable car, so we'd been up and seen this solar eclipse, and on the way back down, we all started singing songs that we've been taught for the SK brand, and all the boys started jumping up and down, and then the cable car cut out, so we were stuck in that for a bit, which wasn't great, but it was a good laugh.
That sounds good, mate. It sounds like you had a good experience of different football. So, move forward to 2003, you moved to Lanarkshire. What made you move up this side of Scotland?
It was work related. I got a posting up here, so I was going to be posted in East Kilbride. So the kind of natural place close by for everyone was Hamilton.
Yep.
So I bought myself a wee flat in Hamilton and stayed there for a couple of years and just tried to get to know people. Because I moved up here on my own at just shy of 17.
Jesus.
So didn't know anyone. Had no mates. Some would still say it's the same now. But no family up here, no mates, no nothing. So it was kind of work colleagues and try to get in tow. And when you're kind of 16, 17-year-old moving to a new place with like going to a school or whatever, the kind of only thing I knew was football. So I had to get back and try to get into football.
Was it still tough? Because I think you were still travelling down there, weren't you? And playing?
Most weekends. Most weekends when I was working, I was still playing Southern Counties with the Titan. So I was going down every Saturday for a 2 o'clock kickoff. So that kind of took a wee bit out of me, but I didn't want to finish the season with the Titan.
Right.
They were paying us as well, so that helped.
Right. That would motivate you a wee bit more, wouldn't it?
Aye.
So after that, you moved to Overton, 2005.
Aye.
Another change.
A guy that I used to go to the gym with very occasionally. His old man had a team in Overton, so I just went again. It was just to kind of get to know people,
yep.
Kicking about. So went and played up there for a year and got a bit of a taste of what football up in Glasgow and Lanarkshire was like in comparison to back down in Dumfries. And the first thing was it was all physical up here and quicker.
Yep.
The speed of the game kind of took me by surprise. Not saying that because it's not a great level, but just the pace was so much quicker up here than I was used to. So I think that's why I found myself kind of moving position into the middle of the park. Wasn't getting the time of the ball out wide that I would normally get, so I had to kind of rethink things. But that's what I got out of going to the team in Overton just for a year, just to kind of see what it was like.
That sounds good, man. So you played with him, and then this is another one of the ones, like the same as Norway. When I thought, see after here, you joined the Glasgow Church League through a friend.
Aye, a guy I worked with, him and his 2 brothers ran a team, and because he'd seen me playing with the work team, he was always in the lookout for players. So I just said to him, like, if you want anyone, just a Saturday morning, whatever else, give us a shout, I'll come down. What a surprise that was.
I bet you it was.
Just crazy, some really decent teams. But again, the physicality of it was just, it was insane. absolutely insane. It was like you're kind of bar brawls on a Friday, Saturday night. Half the time in the pitch, and you're thinking that you're playing the Chelsea, it should be kind of quite calm and whatever else on icy and icy. But it was rough. It was rough.
At least if it wasn't going well, someone could say a prayer for you.
Well, I think I said a couple for myself, but some of my performances right now.
So you suffered an ankle ligament injury, and you were out for 6 months. What happened? How did it happen?
Just a tackle. Boy, just clean.
Did you know right away?
Straight away. The guys tried to take my boot off right at the start, and I was like, no, leave it. I know it's done. Stood up, took a step, and just crumbled, and that was me just away. So I had to take the 6 months just to try and let it heal, and it did, thankfully.
So obviously it was tough, and you felt yourself losing a wee bit of passion for football during that injury. What is there a point where you just hit a certain day and you went, I'm falling away from this, I can't be bothered anymore?
I went out and basically tried to get fit again, tried to kick the ball again, and I was hopeless. Absolutely hopeless. I could still kick it, but the frustration of coming back and starting something again that you've been alright at, it just takes that wee bit longer. And I just wasn't patient enough with myself. So I think that's where I kind of lost the love for the game. Even things like watching it on TV as well. Liverpool weren't doing great at that point. So it was a case of, no great. So you're not watching, you're still supporting them, but you're kind of making sure you watch every game and going down to games and things like that. It just wasn't happening. So kind of found that there was more important things at that point for me. So I kind of lost love a wee bit.
So again, this is another funny one. You decided you wanted to keep a wee bit of fit, so you would join a rugby team through work?
Aye. My flatmate at the time played with the first 15 for the work team, and he was going to training Tuesdays and Thursdays, and he was coming in and he was like, oh, you should come down just even for the kind of running part of it, see what happens. So I thought, you know what, I'm sitting in the house, why no? So I was down and never thrown a rugby ball before, never kicked a rugby ball or that kind of thing, didn't really know anything. So I spoke to a few of the boys and just said, look, do you mind if I join in just the kind of fitness bit? And he goes, I know, but you're here anyways, get involved in the drills, passing drills, we'll show you what to do and whatever else. And I actually enjoyed it. I'd watched it on TV, didn't really too many rules, but I knew the basics. So I thought, why not? Ended up sticking for a year.
Did you play games in that?
Aye, played 7 games in total. Doesn't sound like a lot, but
what position did you play in?
I played in the wing, just because again I could run when I was younger. It was a case of there you go. But they spoke to me about it and he says if I wanted to continue, and once I understand the kind of rules of the game, they'd look at put me at number 10 because I could kick a ball.
Right.
So it's one of them. But after the kind of year, it was a good laugh and whatever else. It just I get back into football, and it was a choice between the two.